Pro Group Management. Workers' comp that works for you.
This is 7 at 7 from the Las Vegas Review-Journal.
New information on an arrest of a former public official, including the use of a police dog and sedation. Thanks for joining us on 7 at 7 tonight. I'm Lena Bleets. Still ahead on 7 at 7, the 911 call from the mother accused of killing her 2-year-old son is released.
Hey, he's only 2.
And the autopsy report is released of the UNLV gunman, revealing the drugs that were in his system. We have the details. Plus, a look back in time at the lion habitat at MGM Grand will take you down memory lane in just a few minutes. We begin with top stories sponsored by Nevada Hand's Silver Sky Assisted Living Community. Learn more at nevadahand.org. We have new details on the arrest of a former Nevada assemblyman who faces DUI and felony assault charges. A police report says when Stephen Brooks was arrested on Thursday, he was uncooperative and officers used a police dog to detain him and ended up sedating him. Police said his arrest came after a vehicle pursuit ended in him crashing his car. Brooks appeared in court on Friday, where his attorney requested a competency hearing. He is due back in court tomorrow. Deja Smith, a mother facing murder charges, can be heard telling a 911 operator that her 2-year-old son was missing in a recording released by Metro Police.
You have to find my baby. Okay, I'm so sorry, okay? He's only 2. He was on his line. He was on his line. He was fine. I turned my back for 1 minute. He was gone.
Smith reported the boy, Jacoby Jr., missing on June 6th, and his body was found the next day inside a dumpster. Police say surveillance footage showed Smith pushing the child in a stroller, leaving the apartment complex and walking toward the dumpster. Smith and the boy's father, Jacoby Robinson, are facing murder and child abuse charges. They are being held without bond and are due back in court on July 25th. An autopsy report shows the man who shot 4 UNLV professors, killing 3, had oxycodone and erectile dysfunction medication in his bloodstream when he died. The report also says Anthony Polito was found with a list of names and room numbers. During the December 6th attack, Polito was armed with 150 rounds of ammunition. He was fatally shot by UNLV police. In weather, sponsored by Star Nursery, your garden's partner for every bloomin' thing. We have an extremely hot week ahead of us with an excessive heat warning starting 11 a.m. Wednesday and lasting through 11 p.m. July 8th. But first tonight, we'll have an overnight low of 83 degrees, heating up to a high of 109 tomorrow, then jumping up to the mid-110s for the rest of the week, looking at 114 on Wednesday, 113 on Thursday, and finishing out the week with 115 on Friday and Saturday, then just continuing to the upper 110s early next week. Lows throughout the week are expected in the mid to high 80s with nothing but sunshine. In business news, back in 1996, the UNLV's Center for Business and Economic Development projected that Clark County would have 2.26 million residents by 2024. It turns out they weren't that far off. LVRJ business reporter Patrick Blennerhassett explains.
It was 26 years ago. They were only off by around 140,000 residents. So that's a pretty good guess if you're talking close to 3 decades. There were some pretty interesting things that came out. Obviously, they predicted that housing costs would go up. Transportation needs would go up, which I thought was really interesting.
Now for your sports update, sponsored by PT's Taverns, your place to watch all the sports action. With over 65 locations, there's a PT's near you. Visit ptstavern.com. The Vegas Golden Knights have made their first pick of the NHL draft. Trevor Connolly out of the USHL. Now after he heard his name called, the 19th overall pick shared with VGK fans of what he wants to be on the ice.
I think I want to be like a top 6, like power play, penalty killing forward, and I think like I want to have an impact. Like being a good playoff player is a big thing for me. I think I want to take steps and be like a really dominant playoff player and at the next level.
In health news, brought to you by Centerwell Senior Primary Care. Discover primary care focused on you. About 5.8 million people in the U.S. were living with Alzheimer's disease in 2020, a number that is expected to triple by 2060, according to the CDC. But one study by the Cleveland Clinic says exercise can lower your chance of dementia by 33%. Nearly 650,000 veterans implemented an exercise treadmill test as part of their routine care. Researchers found they had a 33% lower risk of Alzheimer's disease and related disorders later in life. The authors concluded that cardiorespiratory fitness is associated with lower dementia odds as people age.
Vegas Nation sponsored by Station Casino's STN Sports. Download the app today. Antonio Pierce is still learning to coach at the pro level and learning how to teach his players the new system he wants to implement, but this learning process allows AP to gain a different vantage point.
I really do take off my coach's hat and I become a player. And how it's being taught, how it's being presented, how is it coming across, are we being repetitive, are we going too fast, are we changing it up, are we using all the resources that we have in this building to teach and learn? It's been very good because I can actually put myself in their shoes.
Sports betting brought to you by Las Vegas Paiute Tribal Smoke and Cigar Shop. The Aces dropped to the second favorite to win the WNBA title behind the New York Liberty after starting the season with a 6-6 record, but the two-time defending league champions have since won 4 straight games to regain their spot as a plus 150 favorite at the Westgate Superbook to three-peat. The Liberty are the plus 175 second choice. The Aces will host Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever on Tuesday night at T-Mobile Arena. The Aces are the 13-point favorites.
In your lifestyle news, a sign artist recreated a mini version of the iconic Stardust sign and donated it to the Neon Museum. It makes it the 3rd miniature Vegas sign Chris Raley has given to the Neon Museum to display. He posed with the 34-inch version of the 1960s Stardust Resort and Casino sign in its starry pink glory at the spot where it originally lit the Strip decades ago. Raley says his sign was a way to give back to the Vegas community, past and present. Now for entertainment, sponsored by Arizona Charlie's with live entertainment every weekend at both locations. Go to ArizonaCharlies.com to see who's playing. Today marks 25 years since the opening of the old lion habitat at the MGM Grand. The $9 million exhibit opened in 1999 and remained open over 12 years. The 9,000 square foot 3-story habitat included waterfalls, a pond, trees, and a skylight to improve viewing for guests. Lions in the exhibit split their time between the MGM Grand and the Lion Habitat Ranch located near the M Resort in Henderson. The exhibit made headlines after 2 lion attacks before it permanently closed in 2011. For more on its history, visit lvrj.com. Thanks for watching 7 at 7 tonight. Watch 7 at 7 twice a day, Monday through Friday, and search Review Journal to follow us on your favorite streaming platform. See you tomorrow morning for more 7 at 7.
Review Journal Studio, sponsored by Adam Kuttner. Get the maximum settlement as quickly as possible. This 7 at 7 update, sponsored by Pro Group Management. You're watching 7 at 7 from the Las Vegas Review Journal.